solving equations with inequalities. So the only difference between these is that it has a less than an equal, a greater than, some inequality sign instead of an equal sign. So I'm going to do this in two parts. I may not need to. I may be going a little extra slow on here, but I'm doing this on purpose because I want you to realize that, in inequality, you just do the same thing as if there's an equal sign. Just pretend it's an equal sign and do the same thing. Now, some of you might be getting ahead of me saying, well, wait a minute. I know there's some situation where I flip the sign and I do something like that. And the answer is yes, it is. And I'm going to get to that in the next lesson. But for right now, I just want you to get used to solving problems that don't have that, okay? So now, what I'm going to do here, x plus 2 less than equal to 7. Well, what would you do if it said equal 7? You'd go minus 2, minus 2. That's what you're going to do here. You're not going to change a thing. You're going to solve it like it's a normal problem. The 2's go away, they become 0, x, and that becomes 5. What do I do with the sign? The answer is you just copy it. But wait, you subtracted a 2. I see a negative number. I thought that's when you flip it or do something. No, you can add and subtract all you want. Negative numbers have nothing to do with anything, okay? There will be a situation, but again, add and subtract all you want. It is impossible to have to switch the sign if you're adding and subtracting. Okay, so let's do this one. X minus 5. Well, there's a negative. Do you flip? No. We're just going to add and subtract. We're going to treat this like any normal problem. Okay, boom. X is greater than, and signs are different, so I subtract, keep the sign of the larger number, which is positive. And I just drop down the sign like it was an equal sign. Nothing fancy about this. Just solve the problem. Okay, let's get a couple more on the board. Here's a couple more just one-step problems, but this one's going to deal with multiplication. 5x is less than negative 20. Well, I'm going to divide each side by 5, and I'm just going to pretend like that's an equal sign, and I'm just going to drop it down, and I get negative 4. But wait, there's a negative. I thought, no, you don't. You just keep going, okay? How about this one? This is divide by 4. Well, what's the opposite of divide by 4? It's multiply by 4. So I'm going to multiply this side by 4. I'm going to multiply this side by 4. They cancel out because that's like 4 over 1. And I get x is greater than equal to 24. Okay? Now, the only thing that might mess you up is if you have the variable on the other side. I know sometimes that freaks people out. So why don't we do that one like that real quick? Okay, here's a problem that we worked on in the previous union on how to solve. We have variables on both sides. So we have to get the variables on one side. And as I said, when we did equals, it doesn't matter which side. I like to keep my x's positive, so I'm just going to go minus 2x, minus 2x, boom, they die. He copies down, we just drop down the sign, and I get negative 3 plus x. Now I want to get x by itself, so I'm going to add the 3 to both sides, and this is all stuff that we did in the previous unit. Okay, we've done this before. We should feel really good about that, and that's my answer. Now, how do we say this? 8 is less than x. Fine, but when we see the x on the right, we usually have trouble graphing that. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to flip everything around right now. So if I want to put the x over here and the 8 over here, and I don't want to change the equation, here's how I look at it. It's pointing to the 8. So here, it still needs to point to the 8. And my answer is x is greater than 8. So if you ever end up with a variable on the right side, don't freak out at all. It's all good. And remember, add or subtract doesn't matter. Divide, multiply, well, it might matter, but not in this chapter. Okay, so just go through and just solve problems and copy down the greater than or equal sign, the greater than or less than sign, and I'll see you in the next one and we'll learn the trick.